Hi everyone, Marisa Stone here with Simon Says Social and the Systems Lounge, and I want to welcome you today to the 2018 Premier International Women's Business Systems Summit. And I am super excited today to be talking with Desiree Wolf. We are going to talk all about online systems to save time and money. Now, how many of us need that? So let me tell you a little bit about Desiree. Desiree is a business coach for women in direct sales, party planning, and coaching. She also juggles her full-time job as a marketing maven for a highly successful legal seminar firm, along with being the mom of two lovely children. She adopts a complete no BS approach to coaching and training audacious business owners who are feeling stuck when it comes to personal expression and relationship marketing. She focuses on creating systems, so guess what? You can focus on building your business. And I love that last line. We are kindred spirits for sure. Welcome to the summit, Desiree. It's so exciting to have you here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. Systems are one of my favorite things to talk about. Woo woo.
We're going to geek out. Okay, so let's begin at the beginning. When it comes to systems, some people may have no idea what we're talking about. So what is it that you mean when you're referring to simple online systems?
Systems to me is really, it's having a way to do things that makes your life easier. I kind of think it as like a checks and balances. It's a way that you can make your business sort of run a little bit on autopilot. So there's pieces of it where you just need to check in and make sure things are running smoothly. That's really what I think having the right kind of system in place is. Simple online systems means, having the right kind of email system. It means having a way to speak with your clients so you don't constantly have to be in front of your phone or in front of your computer. It's knowing how you can put the pieces of your business together and make it run seamlessly.
Very nice, very nice. And you've alluded to a little bit of this, but why should entrepreneurs truly be concerned with putting these systems in place?
I think the challenge is entrepreneurs get a lot of times they get into business for themselves for the freedom, the joy of I get to do whatever I want whenever I want. The problem that arises with that is you get to do whatever you want whenever you want. Therefore, if you don't feel like it that day, your business gets no lovin' from you.
Good point.
If you have systems in place on the days that you don't necessarily feel like being front and center and constantly trying to reach out to people, you can have a system that maybe does the follow-up for you. Maybe, maybe you've got something kind of running a little bit on autopilot. Like I said, so you just go in and check on it. So I think systems actually make you more productive because you have a constant finger on the pulse, even without having to be right in front of the action and making the action happen yourself.
And that's a really good point. So, and that leads me kind of into my next question. Can online systems really impact our success?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I mean, they can even make or break a business. When I first started my business, I was coming from the corporate world, the spreadsheets, the massive amounts of paper being printed all the time. And, we had to take reports to the boss, that kind of thing. I found that the more that I had my business readily accessible online, the more productive I could actually become because my business could go with me. So,
Right.
it didn't matter if I was on a tablet at the park or, using my laptop while the kids were, having McDonald's, that kind of thing.
Right.
I really could make my business work for me instead of me having to constantly be chained to my desk.
Right. And I love that. I mean, when you talk about freedom, being chained to the desk is not the definition of freedom at all.
Exactly.
So let's talk about productivity for a minute. I know that you work with your clients a lot on productivity, and I also know productivity is described in a number of different ways. So as you're working with your clients, what does that really mean to be more productive? What is productivity?
Well, just like you said, productivity means different things for different people. So first of all, when I'm working with my clients, that's the first question I ask them. What does being productive mean to you? Does it mean you got 8 loads of laundry done and answered 3 emails? Does it mean you sat at your computer for 4 hours? And it's really surprising to see what different people feel as far as their level of productivity. Some
Mhm.
people are one of those, massive to-do lists. They don't feel productive unless they've checked 20 things off of their list, right? Me too, right? But then you have the other people that I feel productive if I got dressed today. So
Right.
it's important to figure out, okay, what do I need to get done that actually makes me feel like I'm being productive?
Right, right. And that totally makes sense because it is different for everybody. And my, my level of productivity may be very different from somebody else's
Yeah.
level of productivity. So I totally agree with that. So another thing that you work with your clients on are what you call productivity habits. Can you
Mhm.
tell us what those are and how you help somebody learn a productivity habit with productivity being completely different across the board?
Well, the first thing that I have them do is keep a journal for 5 days. It's and I have them note down every single thing that they do in their quote unquote normal day. I
Right,
don't ask them to switch anything up. I don't ask them to do anything else other than just be aware of how you're spending your time. Because I think a lot of people equate, oh, I don't have enough time to be productive in my business. And
right.
so by this exercise, at the end of the 5 days, usually the first thing they say to me is, oh my God, Desiree, I didn't realize I was spending 3 hours on Facebook, but I wrote it down in my journal and there it is. Or I didn't realize that, I had an extra 20 minutes while I'm sitting waiting for the kids to get out of school. That's something that I could have done. So the first thing that I do is, what are your habits? How are you spending your time? How are you finding yourself being unproductive that you're finding it a challenge? So I
Right.
think you have to become aware of what's happening around you first. And then from there, I kind of pick a plan, based on what they feel they need to get done. Okay, well, let's shift some things a little bit. Where in your day can you be more productive? Maybe you're the type of person that needs to get up an hour earlier before the kids do, or
Right.
stay up an hour later.
Right.
So I help them find where those little holes are, and then we fill it in and then shift some things around. And I don't do all of it at once because people panic. Why
Oh
can't
yeah.
I make change? So I do a little bit by a little bit. So if you need to get up an hour earlier, let's try with 10 minutes. Then the next day I want you to try 15 minutes. So it's just getting them to recognize where those holes or where the gaps are, so they can kind of make the small adjustments to grow a bigger picture about their productivity level.
So what are some average productivity habits that you usually, I mean, you alluded to one, right? Move your clock 15 minutes,
Hmm.
one way or another. What are some other kind of simple productivity habits that you put people on?
Well, the big thing is tracking their time. I think that
Absolutely.
that's huge for people. You don't know what you're doing if you're not paying attention to what you're doing.
Right.
So that's one of the things that I do. Another one that I do is, I tell them, shut off your notifications. Give yourself at least 15 minutes to be productive on that one project you're picking to work on. Shut off Facebook. Shut off your phone that we're all glued to. Shut off the TV. Shut off anything, and just 15 minutes of clear focus time. And
Yeah.
it's amazing how much people can get done in those 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Another
Um,
thing is, have a buddy. Have someone that can hold you accountable. That if
yeah.
you're going to tell them, okay, today I'm working on XYZ, you kind of know that, okay, tomorrow they're going to hear that I've got XYZ done. And so it
Right.
kind of gives you a little bit of the pressure that you need to get your productivity level up.
Yeah. So that those accountability partners, folks, they're gold.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets lonely,
It gets lonely.
especially if you are an online entrepreneur. Here
Right.
we are, we're behind the computer all day, and we're in charge of being accountable for ourselves. So you got to find a buddy. Find a buddy in business.
Yeah, absolutely. And emojis don't count.
Neither does my little doxy. As much as I like to think he's listening to me, he doesn't care. And in fact,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
pushing me, get off the computer, lady. Come watch Netflix with me.
That's right. That's right. Cool. And one of the things that I teach my clients to use is the Pomodoro technique, right? You set your clock for 25 minutes,
Yeah.
and the last 5 minutes of that 30-minute segment, you can go do something else. Ideally, get up, walk away from the computer,
Yeah.
go for a 5-minute walk, or breathe, or whatever,
Yeah.
but yeah, and I love that. It really does help, you focus for a minute to really get the job done. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
one of the things you talk about with your clients is the number one habit that is killing your productivity. What is it, and how can we avoid it?
Well, first of all, the number one habit is actually not having a routine. I don't know how many times my clients will tell me, oh, I got up at 10 o'clock today because the baby slept in. And I was like,
Right.
you know what? What time did you get up yesterday? Oh, yesterday I got up at 8 o'clock. your body needs to know that you have sort of a schedule. Or when you go to get up, think about it. When you wake up in the morning, it takes you maybe 15, 20 minutes to kind of acclimate and really focus on what the day is. If you're not waking up at the same time every day, your brain kind of goes into this, I don't know where I am, I don't know what I'm doing mode.
Right.
So if you have kind of at least a routine that's within 30 minutes is usually my suggestion. Wake up within the same time of 30 minutes each day. And then have a routine where you get up and get dressed. I am such a huge proponent of get up, get dressed. You don't have to put your heels on, but have some sort of get out of your pajamas exercise where you are telling your body, okay, I'm ready for the day.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing to me how many days that I've noticed that, okay, why am I feeling like I'm just not getting anything done? And then I take a look and I'm like, oh, I still have my Santa pants on and it's
Yeah.
March, so it's like maybe I need to take a little bit of time for myself, get my body into that routine of I'm taking my business seriously. So I'm going to dress at least for the part of somebody who's running a business.
Right. Absolutely. And I 100% agree with that. I mean, I am so much more productive when I get up, shower, put my makeup on, get dressed, like the whole gamut. And I know,
Yeah.
okay, you work from home, you can show up in your pajamas if you want to, but I'm telling you, there's a big difference about showing up for your business
Mm-hmm.
the same as you would if you worked in an office or you worked in a corporation. You would not show up in your pajamas with
Exactly.
bedhead.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
treat your business with that same level of respect and show up for your business the way you would for that corporate job that you're trying not to work because you want to be an entrepreneur.
Exactly. Treat your business like a business.
Yes, totally,
Yeah.
100%. So I know we are going to dive much, much deeper in the next interview when we talk about online systems, but are there a couple of hacks that you can share with us right now? I know you've alluded to definitely creating your routine and, really looking at your schedule, but are there a couple of other hacks you can talk to us about that will boost our productivity right now? Like if I implement them in the next 5 or 10 minutes, I'm going to see a change.
Wow, that's such a great question. 5 minutes, that's some pressure right there.
That's some pressure. You got this, girl.
Well, one of the productivity systems that I absolutely love online is using a system like Trello, where I can plan out what my day is in a matter of 5 minutes, saying these are my top priorities for the day. What of those five do I need to get done now? And
Right.
so I can move the rest to maybe later today or maybe even later this week. The first thing I do when I sit down on my computer is open up that Trello board and say, what's on the docket for today? And
Yeah.
then I figure out what are the top priorities that I need to get done. And you work on them. Give yourself 10 to 15 minutes just getting started on those top priority items. And
Yeah.
that's one of the hugest pieces of advice that I can get when it comes to productivity. Know what you're working on and have a plan for the day.
Yeah, and I think that's really, really important to have a plan for the day because,
Yeah.
what is the saying? It's something about if you don't know if you don't know where you're headed, there's no telling where you'll end up or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And just having that plan, I think makes a huge difference. When I show up with nothing on the to-do list, I'm like, wait a minute, what am I missing? Right?
Yeah, yeah. And even if you're not a list person, because I have plenty of clients who, Desiree, I don't keep a list, then that's why I bring it down to simple. Okay, what are the three things you want to get done? What are the three things you want to accomplish? And sometimes I say, what do you want to accomplish? And they're like, oh, well, I want to do this, this, and this. And I'll be like, you just made a list. So it's like, oh, wait a minute.
It's a mental one, but you made it.
Exactly.
Very
So,
cool. Very
just
cool.
just be aware of what you've got going on in your business
Yeah.
and
And
use something that you can organize what you're working on.
yeah. And some people talk about like pre-planning the night before. What are your thoughts about that?
That's great. But when you work from home and you have two little ones that are running around, sometimes pre-planning the night before can bite you in the butt because then you have an expectation of what you're going to be doing for the day. And if they start to take over the show, it's very easy to get frustrated. Now,
Yeah.
with that being said, I think it's a good idea to have in your mind, okay, what would I like to accomplish tomorrow? But keeping it too rigid of this is what I'm doing tomorrow, that can actually stress you out in your sleep. So,
Right.
because if you're thinking about what you have to get done tomorrow, the second you lay your head down, then your mind actually starts racing of all the things you should have done today.
Right. Actually, that's a really good point that I hadn't even thought of. And that's one of the things that I struggle with is this racing, brain when I try and lay down at night. So that's actually a really good point. I'll change my planning to the day of instead of the night before, and maybe that'll chill out a little bit.
Yeah, what I do like to do is I kind of have a planning section, and I like to use Sunday afternoons. The kids are usually playing, the
Yeah.
husband's watching his sports, so I'm able to focus on my business. So I actually do sit down and say, okay, what are my top goals for this week? What do I want
Yeah.
to accomplish? What is something that's a deadline that I have to pay attention to? And what do I want to talk about on my social media? So I will take some time once a week and do an overall plan for the week.
Nice, nice. And I really like that. Other people talk also about doing a quarterly, a monthly and a quarterly and then a yearly plan as well. Do you work with clients on factoring those things in as well?
I do actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to have my clients be prepared. Now, in the industry that most of my clients are with direct sales, they don't always have control of what promotions that their companies are going to launch. However, they do have control of how many clients they're reaching out to. They have control over what they might be posting on their own blog. So I do think it's important that you have an overall plan for the year that can be a little generic, and then revisit it every few months and make sure that you're staying on track more than anything.
Yeah, and I love that idea. Make sure you're staying on track because
Yeah,
if you have a goal, you are not going to reach it if you're not staying on track.
exactly. It's that whole New Year's resolution thing. The new year comes and we're all excited, we plan our business, and then 2 months goes by and I'll go to ask my clients, well, what'd you do the last 2 months? Oh, I don't know. Well, what do you want to do next month? I don't know. I kind of forgot since I planned my year 2 months ago. So I do
Right.
think it's important that if you're going to take the time to create a plan, visit it often.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
So I know, again, we're going to dive a lot deeper in the next interview, but is there anything else we need to know right now about online systems to save us time and money?
Automate, 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 automate. There are parts of your business that can run on autopilot. Now, I'm not saying that I want you to set it and forget it, but please figure out where you can make your life easier by saving time, saving energy. And if there are things that you are doing repetitively, find a way to automate it.
Yeah, that is such great advice. I mean, I know we're going to dive deeper into that in a minute, but that is such great advice. You're a one-man show, so utilize your time wisely.
Exactly. And there's so
Yeah,
many programs and softwares out there that will help you get that done. Then
yeah,
take advantage of it.
absolutely. So, wow, this has been absolutely amazing. And I know we're coming to the end of this interview, but before I let you go, how can people reach out to you? Say if they want to work with you or just access some of your resources, how can they reach out to you?
You can find me online. It's super easy, DesireeWolf.com. I'm also on Facebook under The Desiree Wolf.
Nice.
So anybody can reach out to me that way. I also have my planner, which is called The Best Year Yet. And you can find that on my website at DesireeWolf.com/best-year-yet. And so that's one of my favorite tools that I like to share with my clients as well.
Very nice. Fabulous. And guys, those links will definitely be available below. So definitely click on those and reach out to her and touch base with her and access some of her resources because honestly, the only way to save yourself time and money is to put together these systems that are going to help you run your business. Desiree, thank you so much for being here. And guys, we will see you in the next interview. Bye, everyone.